Old Alabama Gardener. In this video, I'm going to show you what I call step one of growing big slicing onions. Do you want to grow big slicing onions? I know many of you do, and I like to grow big slicing onions also. I believe there's 9 steps that's involved in growing big slicing onions. I plan to make a series of videos, and what we'll do is we'll show or detail each step, show you what I do, how I do it, and when I do it to grow big slicing onions. So now is October 2019, and the onions would normally be ready for harvest somewhere around either late June or early July of next year. So this means it's going to take about 10 months from October now to July of next year to show you the whole process. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is so that you can follow along with me. If you do the things that I'm doing at the time I'm doing it, I think you'll be successful in growing big slicing onions. So as I said, this is the first video in this series, and there will be others at each stage or each point of the growing process for these 9 steps. Now if you live in zone 7 or better or above, like zone 8 or 9, now is the time to do step 1. And step 1 is to plant the seeds and get them up. And that's what this video is going to be about. This video is going to show you how I do step 1. Plant the seeds and get them up to small seedlings. Alright, so we got a little square here. That's just to help mark out where I'm going to plant these onion seeds. Soil is prepared pretty good. There's no fertilizer in this soil. We don't need it yet. So what we'll do is we'll run some little furrows with our fingers, and then we'll plant some onion seeds in here. I'm going to make a small furrow here with my fingers, you see me doing, and it's probably maybe a quarter to a half inch deep. And I'll just make some furrows across here. It doesn't matter much about how close together they are or how wide apart they are. And then when we get into the next step here, you'll see why I'm doing it that way. Alright, now we got a bunch of furrows in there. Nothing fancy. So here's our onion seeds. It's called Newburgh. These are organic seeds from Nichols Garden Nursery. Good outfit, good company. Highly recommend them. So we got about over 300 seeds in this package. Now of course not all of them will probably come up, and even if they come up, not all of them are going to survive to maturity. So but we'll just plant them all. Now onion seeds are not too tiny, but I'm going to use some potting mix here to help me get them spread out more. So let's see what we got here. There it is. Doesn't look like 300 seeds, but I suppose it is. So we'll just sprinkle them in here, and then we'll mix it up good. And now we're ready to sow them out there in the little furrows that I've made. I'm going to sprinkle it rather lightly so that I get a full covering over the whole little square or little bed here. And then if I have any left over, I'll just scatter it over across the top of the furrows there, and you'll see me do that here in a minute. Now, not all the seeds is going to be down in a furrow, but there will be enough of them down in the furrow, and they'll take root, and they'll produce more plants than I'll probably need. So now I'm going to firm it down just with my hands. Now we got one more very important step. That is to water this. And you're going to water it every day until the seeds sprout and the onions come up. So I'm going to go get some water. Now I don't want to disturb the seeds too much, so I'm going to water carefully. Now I want to show you what the onion seeds look like when they first sprout and come out of the ground. They'll actually come out of the ground and they'll be bent double like that. Looks funny. One end of it will be the root and the other end will be the part that's going to come up like that, and it'll eventually turn on up straight like that. So let me show you, and I'm going to get real close so you can see it really well. So here we are. Now we're in the kitchen garden. There's our cabbage over there. This is our Japanese greens here. But right there in that square frame is my onions that I'm going to be growing for next spring. So let's take a look at them now. You have to get down here close because they're kind of hard to see. There's one right there. As a matter of fact, there's the seed that's still on it, but we'll not worry about that. What I want to show you is right in here. You see how this all looks like they got two, and so when they come out of the seed, they come out bent double, like you see that one right there, and like you see that one right there, and that one right there, and that one right there. Then as they grow a little bit, they begin to flop up, as you see this one doing. It will straighten all the way up. I don't need to pull on it, it might break it, but it will straighten all the way up. Let's see, don't guess I have any that's all the way straight. Here's another one right here that's pretty straight, and there's a little black seed right on the end of it, and that'll fall off. We don't worry about that. So here's some more. There's one there that's got a little black seed on it still. There's one that's got a seed and it's still bent pretty double. There's one that's got a seed and it's trying to straighten up, as you see, and it will. Oh, here's one that's straight. It's come out of the ground, out of the seed, bent double like that one, but then it finally straightens up. And it's still got the seed up there on the top, as you can see right there. And so every one of them little green ones that you see there's some that's got the seed on them. All these little green ones that you see here are tiny little onion plants coming up. Tiny, tiny, tiny little, that's a weed there, so we'll pull that out. Tiny little onion plants. So what we'll do, I'll give these about another week, and then I'm going to start fertilizing them. I'll fertilize them with a liquid fertilizer at half strength, and when I do that, I'll show you about it. So now you see this one right here, it's all white right there. It looks to me like it's not in the ground very good right there, so I'm going to take a pinch of dirt, just like this right here, and put over the root in, and that'll allow that seed in there to grow. Otherwise it might die. Okay, so there's another one right there. So I'll grab a pinch of dirt somewhere and put it down right there. That just helps it to get the roots started into the ground. That right there is a weed, so we'll pull it out. Alright, so there's one that's almost standing straight up. Let's see if I may make sure I got my focus on here. So here's one that's almost standing straight up now. And they'll all do that. Alright, so that's our update on growing our onions. The next update will be when I start fertilizing them.